Welcome back to Kavanaugh's Corner. Today on the channel, we're going to be talking about a somewhat new release. Sadly, this kind of got delayed in shipping, but this movie was sent to me by Lionsgate Home Entertainment, and that is the Francis Ford Coppola film One from the Heart. This is an all-new 4K remaster of the film, and it's actually a new cut of the movie. This is the reprise or reprise, depending on how you want to say it, but I like to say reprise version of the film. Ironically enough, it's actually 10 minutes shorter than the original 1982 release. And this movie's kind of infamous because it was a huge bomb for Mr. Coppola, and the budget ballooned, and it was just a huge financial failure and really bankrupted the poor guy. And so I was very curious about this movie. I had actually never seen this before. Somehow, some way, this was the only Coppola film that I had just missed because it was just so hard to find over the years. So when I heard this was coming out in a director's cut on 4K, nonetheless, I had to see if I could get it. So very happy this was sent out to me. So today we're going to be talking about the picture quality, the audio quality, and the special features on here, because this has a ton of special features. So jumping right into the picture quality of this, this movie has a native 4K transfer. Ironically enough, Coppola shot this in a really weird aspect ratio. It's shot in 1:37:1, so it has kind of a square aspect ratio. But the Dolby Vision HDR on this is like working overtime. The lights of Las Vegas that are seen throughout the film just look incredible. The colors are vibrant. Everything kind of pops out at you. Black levels look incredible. The movie as a whole just has a really amazing look. Coppola went and built everything. Everything you see in this movie is a set, which is such an incredible thing. My thoughts on the movie, this is like one of the most wildly uneven movies ever. I think it looks incredible, but the story is really kind of not existent. The story didn't do anything for me. The characters I didn't really find interesting. The music was pretty good, and I'm not a Tom Waits fan, but Tom Waits did all the music for this. And I think really the look, the lighting, the sets, and everything are really what to watch in this movie. I think the actors do the best they can. Raul Julia is just so incredible in this. I absolutely love his performance in this movie. Terry Garr is also very charming. Frederick Forrest is doing the best he can in this, but it's really one of these movies that, again, I love looking at it. I thought it was a very interesting watch in terms of cinematography. Vittorio Storaro did the cinematography for this, and it looks amazing. But it was kind of a hard sit for me, I'm not going to lie. Even at 93 minutes, which is the 10-minute shorter cut that's on the 4K here, it was kind of a brutal sit at times. But cinematography-wise, it's amazing looking. The fantastical musical sequences that happen later on in the film are just, they're so phenomenal looking and so well choreographed. I mean, it's really incredible stuff to look at. And this 4K transfer really just makes everything pop. I mean, detail level is incredible. The black levels are amazing, and you can really see that these things are built sets now. The 4K resolution does no favors to this film in trying to hide the sets. I mean, you can really see everything's a set. And it really gives this kitschy quality to this movie that I think a lot of people love about this film. I really enjoyed, the look of it. But as a movie, I don't know if I'd be revisiting this anytime soon. But the new transfer is amazing. And I have to say, they did a great job with it. The grain levels on this, in terms of film grain, are actually very heavy at times. There's a lot of optical superimposed images on this. A lot of effects that were done, in camera. They are very grain heavy. And I know it's going to get on a lot of people's nerves, but they really did not do much of anything in terms of digital noise reduction on this. I kind of didn't mind. I'm used to seeing film grain in movies. Some mitigation probably would have been nice, but it also probably would have heavily damaged the look of the film, because this movie does have a very particular look. So it's a mixed bag in terms of grain and stuff like that, but the overall picture quality on this is stupendous. It is an amazing looking film. In terms of audio quality, there's actually two sound mixes that are on the 4K disc. There's a DTS HD 5.1 master audio and a 2.0 LPCM track. Now, I actually watched it with the 2.0 stereo track, and it sounded awesome. And that's actually the sound track that's chosen by default on the disc. So if you just hit play, it's going to play in that stereo. You have to change it to the 5.1 if you want to hear it in 5.1. Now, the original stereo track there sounded great. The music by Tom Waits sounded incredible. And the music is very important to this film, because I like to call this movie like a semi-musical. The music is really kind of meant to carry the story along, from what I could surmise. And if you're a Tom Waits fan, you're gonna love this movie. I am not. I think he's very talented, but the music, again, it's very Tom Waits, and I didn't hate it, but it's not really my cup of tea. But it does work for this movie in a very strange way. However, the one thing I noticed, and this is probably by design, is that the dialogue on this is buried. I mean, it is so low that I had to turn my sound system up a good 15 to 20 levels to actually get it to be audible. And when I switched it to the 5.1 to make sure I wasn't going insane, the same thing occurred. Sound effects and music really overpower all the dialogue throughout the movie, with very particular instances when it kind of doesn't. It's an interesting take, and to me, it kind of drove me nuts. But I can see, if it's by design, that's the way it is, and there's nothing I can do about that. That's just kind of the way it is. But the dialogue is so low, it made some Christopher Nolan films look good, if you know what I'm saying. So if you can get past that, you'll really enjoy the music and the sound effects of this film, because they do sound incredible. But if you want to hear what the actors are saying, you may want to turn the subtitles on, because you really got to ramp that sound up in order to hear anything that comes out of their mouths most of the time through this film. So, very interesting choices there. Again, I can't knock the filmmaker for doing what he wants to do with this, but it was very kind of distracting when two people are having a conversation and everything else is completely blowing them out of the water. So, very weird stuff. But the sound mix as a whole is really good, with the exception of that, by design, from what I could see, dialogue issue. As for special features, this is loaded with it. Now, the 4K disc has a feature-length commentary by Francis Ford Coppola. It has a bunch of special features about the look of the film, the cinematography of it, the cast of the film. The choreography has a special feature on here on the 4K disc. And there's also a little featurette featuring Baz Luhrmann talking about this movie, and he really loves this movie. So that's a really cool little special feature they added in there. And there's also a little featurette about the restoration of this film and the making of this director's cut. So that's pretty cool. The secondary disc, which is just a standard Blu-ray, has the original 1982 cut of the film, which, as I mentioned, is 10 minutes longer. There's also a making of, little documentary about the film. There's deleted scenes. There's videotapes of rehearsals. They even talk about the making of all the sets and the Zoetrope studios. There's even press conferences from the time of the making of this movie. There's a music video in this. I mean, there's just so much stuff across the two discs. If you love this movie, look no further, because this has got every little thing you could ever want to know about this film on these two discs. It's really impressive the amount of special features they were able to pack into this set. And it also comes with a digital copy that redeems in 4K on Vudu or Fandango at Home, or whatever they're calling it now. So that's pretty cool stuff. As a whole, I'd say if you're a fan of this movie, this is a must-buy. For me, this was like a completion of my Francis Ford Coppola collection, so to speak. I really only have to get the Rain People now in order to complete that. But everything else that's been readily available, I've pretty much got it now. And to me, this was a curiosity view. And I'm really glad Lionsgate sent this out. Thank you again to Lionsgate Home Entertainment for sending this, because this was kind of a piece of cinema history that I kind of missed. I had read a lot of things about it, heard the disastrous results in the box office from this film, but I had never seen it. And I'm glad that I did, even though it's definitely not my favorite Coppola film. It does look amazing, it does sound pretty great, and there are a ton of special features. So if you do want to pick this up, I'll leave a link in the description below that leads to Amazon. If you use that link, it does help me out on the channel here quite a lot. And if you really want to be a big help and you love physical media like I do, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel so I can keep bringing you reviews like this. Until next time, I just want to say I wish you all the very best. Thank you so much for coming back to Kavanaugh's Corner. Please stay safe and take it easy.